Good evening, everyone. Welcome to GradeUp's MBA Prep channel. Finally, the wait is over for Maharashtra CET, right? Many of the aspirants had been waiting for this examination. The examination is generally conducted in the month of March, but this year, due to pandemic, it got postponed. And as it was about to happen, the pandemic struck, and then it got postponed. And now the finally you see some hope, and the registrations have begun. So obviously the examination is going to be conducted soon, maybe by July end or August beginning, right? Let us see that what should be done now uh, in this time, how to prepare in the last few days for MAH-CET, how to maximize your performance in this examination, and why this examination is important for you, all of you. Okay, we have this mega mock, all India mega mock from 26th to 28th of June, right? So you can, if you are targeting CAT, you can appear for this. Okay, if we talk about this examination, right? If you talk about MAH-CET, people had been waiting for this examination. The dates for registrations have begun, right? That registrations has started yesterday, and it will go on till 17th of July. So if you are going to appear for this examination, you are requested to uh, register on time. Do not wait for the last day, because many times it happens that like when you wait for the last day, the site does not work, right? So preferably try to register before 15th of July itself, so that you have hassle free registration. Okay, and you don't have to worry about all those website glitches and all. Sometimes that happens, right? It's not the case always, but yes, sometimes such things do happen. Register for it on time. Now the next big question is, what is the date of the examination, right? People are asking that when will the examination be held, right? They have given the registration date, right? So registration ends on 17th July. So they'll take a few days to come up with the admit card. So probably by July end, right? Earliest it will be July end. It cannot be before that, because they will at least take 4 or 5 days to give up the admit card, and at least 1 week notice they'll give you, or August beginning, right? So that will be the time when which the examination will be conducted, right? Or maybe up to August mid, but definitely not before July end, right? So you have at least 1 month remaining, and you have been preparing for the examination. It's just not that you were waiting for this notification to come, right? The ones who were really interested in the examination, right? And right now, about this examination, it is conducted by DT Maharashtra, and last year there were around 1,10,000 test takers. So probably the second biggest examination after CAT. Okay, there are a lot of institutes that consider MAH-CET scores. However, the top institutes, the good colleges, I would say the number of seats in those colleges would be around 1,000. Okay, since it's a state-based test, so 85% seats for Maharashtra candidates and 15% for other state candidates, right? That is called OMS, outside Maharashtra state. So very difficult for outside Maharashtra candidates to get into these institutes, but still, yes, there is hope for you. Okay, so for example, if you talk about JBIMS, which is the top institute, it has 120 seats, and out of those, only 18 are for outside Maharashtra candidates. And not only it accepts only not only MAH-CET, but it also accepts like CMAT, MAT also. Okay. Talking about the eligibility criteria, you should have 50% in your graduation, right? And apart from that, there is no there is no limit on the attempts. You can attempt it any number of times. Okay. This is the examination pattern which has been. Hopefully, this is going to remain the pattern for this year as well. Till last year, this was the pattern. Okay, So 200 questions to be answered in 150 minutes. There are 4 sections, no sectional timing, no sectional cutoff, right? So you can attempt sections in any order. You can switch between the sections, right? So good thing that there is no constraint on sections. So you have logical reasoning 75 questions, abstract reasoning 25 questions, quantitative aptitude 50 questions, and VARC 50 questions. 200 questions, 150 minutes. The MCQs with 5 options. There is no negative marking, right? So one strategy to score in this examination is like if it is the last few, let's say last few minutes of the examination, you are left with say 5 minutes, you can just blindly mark the options, because there is some probability that you will get some answers correct and you can score some marks out of it, right? So that is one strategy, that you should not leave questions unattempted. Okay. Now talking about the different sections, what is the structure of the sections, right? Which which are the questions that are what are the type of questions that are being asked, right? So it is conducted by IBPS, right? So every year it is taken by IBPS. Okay. So reading comprehension VARC, if we talk about, there are 50 questions in this, right? Two reading comprehension passages, about 15 questions. So 30% is RC. So it could be like 7 plus 8, 6 plus 9, or 8 plus 8. So 14, 15 questions from RCs. Other topics are like common theme of sentences, word rearrangement within a sentence, right? So they will give you a sentence with 4 underlined words. They are arranged in some random order. So you have to arrange in correct order, right? And you have error spotting, match the columns, parajumbles, sentence fillers. So these are all topics. These are all topics of reading comprehension and verbal ability, VRC, right? So again, these are all bank exam patterns, right? So if you find all these type of questions in bank examinations, because it is conducted by IBPS. Okay. Level of difficulty is moderate to difficult. It depends on a person, right? If you are good with verbal, you might find it moderate. Some people might find this section difficult also. Okay. Talking about the logical reasoning section, most important section with the highest weight, right? 3/8 of the paper is logical reasoning. 75 questions, right? Most of them are puzzles. More than half of the section consists of puzzles. 7 sets of puzzles, and these puzzles are like arrangement, right? So you could have linear arrangement, people sitting in 2 rows, right? It could be circular arrangement, right? It could be rectangular or square arrangement. It could be floors or stack of things, right? It could be scheduling, right? Schedule of some events, right? It could be ranking puzzles, like some people are ranked on the basis of height, weight, etc. They could involve blood relations, right? And etc, etc. So these are different varieties of puzzles, right, which you get in the examination. So all arrangement based, and all these are right. And these are the type of things that they ask, right? Now if you talk about other sections, right, 40 of these, then out of these you have remaining coding, decoding, right? So some common words, some words are given and their codes are given. You have to find common codes out of it, right? And then you have inequalities, right, wherein you have to use those operators to find the relation between those. Okay, so these are inequalities. Then direction sense, syllogisms, blood relation, right, data sufficiency. So these things constitute about 25 questions, and critical reasoning constitutes of 10 questions. So this is generally the distribution. So about 10 questions on critical reasoning. So this is the structure of this section. 75 questions, heavy on the puzzle side. So if you have to maximize your score, right, if you have to increase your score, so you should target at least 5 out of 7 puzzles, right? 4 to 5 are a must, because see, you cannot score everything in verbal, right? Definitely, no matter how good you are, your accuracy will not be 100%. Abstract reasoning might drain your time, it might consume a lot of time. So this is the section wherein you have to score high, and this is something that you can target. Okay. Now, if we talk about the level of difficulty, the puzzles are the biggest challenge, and these are lengthy and time consuming, right? Very lengthy puzzles. You will get multiple cases, keep solving. So if you talk about these puzzles, the puzzles itself consume a good amount of time in this section. Okay. Now talking about the quant and DI section, compared to other sections, it is quite easy, right? If you see the questions, so it has 3 DI sets, right? That is fixed. So 15 to 18 questions in DI. DI sets are easy to moderate, like two of the sets will be easy. So basic DI would be chart based, right? Chart or table based, not like CAD wherein you have logical DI. So these are this calculation based, right? So there could be bar graph, line graph, pie chart, etc. Calculation based DI sets. Okay. Then you have around 10 problems, word problems from arithmetic from different topics, right? So you will have one question on profit or loss, one on simple interest, one on time, speed, distance, one on pipes and cisterns, etc., etc. Right? So different topics, different questions. Only arithmetic based, arithmetic and mensuration, right? Areas, perimeters, etc. They won't ask you questions from like higher methods, mathematics like algebra and all those things. Okay. So this is about this. And then apart from that, you have quantity comparison, in which they will give you two statements, 1 and 2. In one, they will talk about some quantity, right? It will be an arithmetic problem. They will talk about that the profit is this, right? And the selling price is this, find the cost price. Second would be some other statement. You will have to compare the two values in that. So these are slightly difficult because you have to basically solve two questions and then compare the values. Okay. Then we have number series. These are easy things. Number series, quadratic equations, approximations. These are some low pickings, right? You should attempt these questions because these are easy to do, right? Number series, if you can spot it, you can spot it very fast. Okay. So these are the things that we have. And if you talk about the difficulty, it is generally easy to moderate, right? Compared to reasoning section, it is easily doable. Okay. So if you are good with mathematics, you can score very high in this section. Okay. Then talking about the abstract reasoning, there are 25 questions. This is also called visual reasoning or non-verbal reasoning. So in case you want to search for questions, search non-verbal reasoning in Google and you will get questions. Maybe abstract reasoning, you might not find much content. If you search for non-verbal reasoning, so these are the questions that are asked. So they ask for some figures with similar relation. You have to complete a series of figures, right? So they give you some figures and they will ask you that which figure will continue in the same series. Okay. Analogies are like they give you some relation and you have to find the let us say they have given you like this. Okay. Just taking a very simple example, they will ask you which figure will come here. So we know that it is rotated by 90 degree. So this should be rotated by 90 degree. Your answer should be this. Okay. So they will give you multiple elements. I've just given a very simple example. So they will give you multiple elements and you have to make relation using those elements. Okay. Right. So that is this is these are the things, right? The difficulty level is moderate to difficult in this. Okay. And one thing about this analytic abstract reasoning thing is you get tired after solving certain questions, right? So if you solve a few questions, after some time you will feel that that you feel tired. So you can solve these questions in parts, right? You can solve let us say a few questions and then move on to other questions and then come back to this section. Okay. Now, what is different in this examination? What are the specialities of this examination? So first thing is abstract reasoning section, which is unique, right? You do not find it any other examination. Maybe you might get 1 or 2 questions in CMAT, another examination, but you do not get too many questions on abstract reasoning. Okay. So that is a unique section. So you need to prepare for it. Okay. And then we have the questions are on bank examination pattern. As I told you, it is conducted by IBPS. Okay. So we have this thing for like for this that the examination questions are of bank examination pattern, like quantity equations, quantity comparison, number series, inequalities, data sufficiency, word rearrangement, match columns, etc. So you can prepare through banking exam material also, right? So right, so these are the things that you should keep in mind, right? That prepare using those content as well, right? So if you get access to those content, if you are prepared for this examination, right, you can cover these topics using that. Okay, the reasoning puzzles are generally lengthy and time consuming. Okay, I mean, they generally have very lengthy puzzles and time consuming, so you need to practice well for these puzzles. Okay, there is no negative marking, so make sure that whenever you attempt these papers, keep some time just to mark the answers randomly, right? Okay, so these were the scores of the last year. The topper scored 159, right? The 99.99 percentile, which is required for JB for OMS candidates, was at 146, right? It was like you need to be, if you're targeting JB outside Maharashtra, so that is the score you need. 99.9 percentile was at 134. So if you're targeting JB, like Maharashtra candidates, the cutoff is around 99.92 for JB, right? So you can say around 135 is needed. If you are from Maharashtra, you will need around 135. For outside Maharashtra, you need even 10 more marks. So you can imagine that if you're an outside Maharashtra candidate, it becomes very difficult for you to score. I mean, you have to score very, very high in order to get into the 10 top institutes, right? So if you're targeting CET, right, CET, the cutoff for outside Maharashtra is up around 99.9. For Maharashtra candidates, it was be around 99.8, right? So if you have the score range, so you can figure out that which colleges you can target at what score, right? So but this is just for last year. The scores, however, fall in the same range. Into the 99.99 is around 140, 145. Okay, so the time is same, right? The time is going to be 150 minutes only, right? So there is no change in that timing, right? So that is there, right? So yes, puzzles are lengthy in this, so you have to practice puzzles. Okay, and some people are saying that if they are preparing for CAT, should they prepare for CET and all, right? So if we say that like if you're targeting CAT, right, so yes, you can appear for CET also. How it will help, right? So if you prepare for CET, you will be done with at least arithmetic, right? You would have done practice some English part, right? You would have done RCs and all. So some part of CAT will be covered, right? Plus you would have done some DILR, right? Maybe basic calculation wala DI and some sort of LR, right? So half, maybe you can say that half of thing is done, right? In RCs, like this thing is done, right? So arithmetic, you will still need to cover algebra and other topics. Yes, so CET will give you some confidence, right? Why not appear for CET, right? If you can get a good institute, yes, you can join that institute as well, and you will save a year. Okay, now let us talk about some preparation tips. What are some of the things that you should do, right, in order to ace this examination? Because what are some of the things that you must take care of while preparation and while attempting the examination? First is practice a lot of puzzles, right? So we've seen that last year, also like previous to that also, right? And then you have a lot of questions on puzzles. As I told you, 40 questions out of 75 are from puzzles only, right? So you cannot leave those. So you have to practice a lot, right? So like puzzles based on arrangement, floor, box puzzles, like scheduling puzzles, order ranking puzzles, right? So these are a must that are needed. Okay, then you need to attempt the abstract reasoning sections in different streak. So if you have taken the test and all those things, right, you will see that right. So you must have seen that like you cannot concentrate on abstract reasoning for long, right? You get tired after solving a few questions. So do that, break your attempts, right? So maybe 7-8 questions, then do some other thing, then attempt 7-8 questions, then 5-6 questions, like whatever attempt you want to make. Do not try to attempt all 25 questions together, because it requires a lot of focus, and you will realize that after solving around 10 questions you feel tired. For those who have practiced those questions would be understanding it, right? So attempt those in different streaks, like let's do 7-8 questions, then go to some other section, solve, and then come back, and so on. Okay, so that should be the strategy in this. Okay, and like as I said, IBPS conducts this examination. So see what are the latest pattern. So if you see, like last year there was a question in English which was match the columns, right? So they had given column 1, right, column 2, column 3. They had given one sentence, one part, second part, third part, right? So you have to join these three columns, 1, 2, 3, and find the correct sentence. Okay, so that is something which was introduced by IBPS recently. So see that what are the type of questions that are being asked, right, from IBPS in the recent examinations. So be aware of those patterns, solve those kind of questions in all sections, see if they have come up with any new type of puzzles or data interpretation, right, or like some questions in English. So keep yourself aware of all these things as well. Okay, and there are certain topics which are easy pickings in the paper, like number series. Number series hardly takes any time, right? If you are stuck in a number series question, skip that question. If you are able to do it in 15-20 seconds, do it and move ahead. Inequalities, very easy topic, right? Very easy to do. Syllogisms, if you understand the concepts well, you can do syllogism questions in no time, right? These are some things that you can that give you the confidence, and these boost up your speed. Approximation, right? Some basic calculations and approximations, right? So you can do them in no time and then just like score heavily in those. So identify those questions which can be done quickly, maybe in verbal also. Like if you do parajumbles, you get all the questions, you are able to solve all the questions in that, right? So these are the some of the things that you need to check that that can help you in this. Okay. All right, so we are coming up with a course for Maharashtra CET, a crash course we are launching soon, right? So yes, so you will be seeing that course soon on our gradeup Super subscription, right? If you subscribe to gradeup Super, you get access to that course as well, right? That will be exclusively a revision course for CET 2021. Okay, and these are our mentors at gradeup. I'm sure you must have met all of them, right? And they are the ones who help you with your exam preparation. Okay, so I hope this video was helpful to you. You got to know about some nitty-gritties of CET, right? What are the things that are asked in CET? What are some of the things that you should keep in mind, right? And some advice on how to go about cracking the examination, right? So as I said, we have launched one crash course also. You can enroll with our you can buy our gradeup Super subscription, and you get access to that course, right? On YouTube also we will do some sessions, right? Maybe like some 5-6 classes on YouTube also related to CET, right? So I hope you like this video, so don't forget to like this video, and do subscribe to our channel for more updates on MBA examinations. So thanks for watching the video. Have a great night. Goodbye.